Nexus letters can be a controversial topic, and I'm going to tell you why your VA claim was denied if you submitted a Nexus letter.
Whiskey 9 Yankee 7 November Golf, over.
We're going to break Nexus letters down into 4 different categories. If your Nexus is missing any of these 4, your claim will most likely be denied. Starting with number 1, who is writing your Nexus? It's not the doctor's name the VA is concerned about, it's the title and position. A very clear example of this is for mental health. If you want a Nexus letter, I highly recommend you go see a psychiatrist versus a psychologist. Now, can a psychologist write you a Nexus letter and you win your claim? Absolutely, you can. Go ahead and do that. That's fine. However, if the VA schedules a CMP exam for you with the psychiatrist, whatever that psychiatrist says is going to weigh more than the psychologist. Reason being, psychiatrist is a medical doctor. They went to med school. The psychologist, they didn't. A lot of people would probably disagree with me on that, but I will say this. A Nexus letter is an independent medical opinion. Why would you not go to a medical doctor? On the flip side of that, you generally have to pay for a Nexus letter, and if your psychologist wants to do one for free, then hey, go for it. I wish you the best. When it comes to mental health conditions, I highly recommend Dr. Sharma. He's a board certified psychiatrist, and he understands what the VA needs in a Nexus letter. Dr. Sharma will review your records for free and determine if he can help you or not. On the physician side of the house, the same thing applies. I'm not gonna recommend a nurse practitioner. I'm not gonna recommend a physician assistant. I'm gonna recommend a physician, an MD, a medical doctor. Be careful who you're buying a Nexus letter from, especially if it's in the high price range and they're not a medical doctor. The second category we're going to talk about, and this is crucial, is reviewing all of your relevant medical evidence. This includes the evidence that disagrees with the opinion. Your Nexus letter needs to not only review your medical evidence, but cite your evidence in conjunction with the doctor's opinion. Number 3, and this is the one that everyone talks about, it's burden of proof. The 3 most common statements you'll see are less likely, at least as likely, or more than likely. Less likely means less than 50%, and in the eyes of the VA, it's not going to be connected. At least as likely is 50% or more. This is good news. More likely is more than 50%. This is really good news in the eyes of the VA. If you attend a CMP exam, that examiner will write a Nexus statement. If your VSO has ever told you you have a favorable CMP exam, they're referring to the Nexus statement being 50% or more. The last category is medical literature. This Nexus letter is a doctor's opinion, and the literature is supposed to support the opinion. A very common example of strong medical literature is if a veteran has PTSD and they're claiming both IBS and GERD. There are tons of medical literature that link IBS and GERD to PTSD, as well as veterans participating in OEF, OIF, and OIR, linking PTSD to IBS and GERD. To be honest with you, that one's a pretty easy win. A not so easy win is sleep apnea. When it comes to literature, there really isn't any definitive fact that says sleep apnea is caused by PTSD, which is why sometimes this is approved and sometimes it's denied. There's a few other things that go into that, and it's causation and correlation. If you have PTSD, hypertension, you've been deployed multiple times to OAF, OIF, OIR, Desert Shield, Desert Storm, all of that can correlate to sleep apnea. If all signs point that way, we're probably going that way. Before you go Nexus letter shopping, you can ask your private doctor to do one for free. They might do it, they might not do it. You can ask your primary care at the VA. Again, they're 50-50. But if you're buying a Nexus letter, be very careful on who you get it from.